This is a quick reading in Algeria's history. Less than a year after France's colonization of Algeria, in 1831, a German scientist traveled to Algeria. His name is Willem Schemper, in order to monitor some plants, but when he returned to his country, he found himself forced to write a full book about Algeria and Algerians. This book tells about Algerians and their lives and how clean and educated they are, and they are regularly grooming and arriving. They have a decency in their women, and many other details of their lives summarize a wonderful picture of Algerians living at the time. But we quote from his book one phrase to make it a prelude to today's topic: I didn't find in Algeria who doesn't do well to read and write, but vice versa. Some of those I meet speak Arabic, French, English, Spanish, Italian, and memorize the Koran. I also found Algerians who knew Europe a city, and I was surprised by that. In Europe there is rarely a person who can read and write. This testimony must be safeguarded by our children, because France states in its official speeches that it brought civilization to Algeria. We start from this temporal circumstance in which Schemper witnessed the culture and science of Algerians in the 19th century, and then we go back in time. For the 12th century, we will find in the Mediterranean 4 beacons for science. None of them were European hands, where they were Andalusian Córdoba, Tlemcen, Marrakesh, and Béjaïa. At that time he was an Italian merchant from the so-called Pisa Republic. He was taking with him his son Leonardo, who wished him a bright future in trade, but when he saw the difference in culture, consciousness, science and honesty between the people of Europe and the people of Béjaïa's children, decided to leave his son in Béjaïa to study at an educational school, to benefit from his teachers and to be like them. Son, whose name was Leonardo Fibonacci, says his father was rich. He rented a luxury residence in Béjaïa, and he went out in the evening to walk around her beautiful streets and watch the acrobat and the monkey tame. And he loved people there, and he loved eating and the beach. He was organized into Sheikh Boumedien's ring and then Abu Hamid's little ring. And then he had the honor of becoming Abdelhak Seville's pupil. He was fascinated by their knowledge, and the most admirable thing was the Arabic numbers and their use in the mathematical calculation. Because in Europe they used computation and hard Roman numbers in operations, and these are examples of that. Strangely, the Arabs found a symbol of 0, and the latter was unheard of by Europeans and was not in their sports account. Leonardo got very excited about the subject, and he decided that instead of continuing to study more in Béjaïa, to return to Europe to teach them the numbers and calculation and to rid them of the pillar calculations and Roman numbers, because what he learned in Béjaïa he writes in one line what Europeans write on a full page. Indeed, Leonardo returned to his country and 1,000 books on Arabic numbers and how to include them in the mathematical calculation, and tried to present them to some mathematicians. They admired each other, and others did not understand its content, and who told him that 0, the rounded symbol, is the symbol of the devil, but he isolated himself and kept using the Arabic numbers he learned in Béjaïa, until he developed new mathematical equations, of which equations still dazzle the world today and bear his name, and after years of talking to traders, writers and accountants, he could convince people that mathematics was better, easier and more giving in. Arabic numbers. You have gradually evoked and expanded from Italy to Europe and then to the whole world, and the Roman numbers have become extinct, and the Arabic numbers have been replaced to this day.